bobcat. Well, that is a robin.
Well, good morning, and welcome back out to another edition of Backcountry Trails. Otto's coming here to join me today while I record this episode. It's going to be kind of a mashup. This last month has just been an absolute whirlwind of different things. I'm a wilderness ranger for the San Bernardino National Forest. I'm also a wilderness ranger for the Cleveland National Forest. I'm also a fire lookout at High Point and Boucher lookouts in the Cleveland and Tuckwitz and Black Mountain in San Bernardino. And right now they're getting ready to do everything. Over the last month and a half, I've had all these training classes to attend to. I had a Reconnect training class over at in San Marcos at the training center for the Cleveland National Forest and the Forest Fire Lookout Association for High Point and Boucher. I also had another training session over in Idlewild for the San Bernardino National Forest for the Forest Service Volunteers Association that does Tuckwitz Peak and Black Mountain. On top of that, I also had to attend a full 8-hour training class for the San Jacinto Wilderness Rangers, and that was held in Garner Valley. So I've just been doing a ton of stuff. And in the middle of all of those days and all of those training classes, I've also done a couple of patrols up in Idlewild, and I've done a couple of patrols at the Cleveland National Forest, and I've also worked a couple of shifts at the Boucher Fire Lookout. So the Boucher Fire Lookout is one I haven't done before. I've been up there a couple times on hikes, but I'd never actually worked it as a fire lookout. It's within the state park, and I wasn't going to do that originally, but I decided that I might as well just do it. And especially now that High Point's closed. The High Point Lookout has got some structural problems they're working through. They're trying to get funding to make the repairs. And in the meantime, it's not being staffed. But Boucher is. And I didn't want to go a whole season without working something over on Mount Palomar, so I decided to go ahead and do the training for Boucher. Normally it's 3 full days of training up there. I only had to do the one. They waived the rest of them because I'm already a lookout over there on that side. I've already done all of their training. And I just had to become familiar with some of the key landmarks that I could see from the Boucher Fire Lookout. So I did work 2 shifts already up at Boucher, and I've got a bunch more scheduled. But I have had some wildlife encounters up there. They're pretty cool. The very first shift I worked when I was driving up there on the State Park Road, it was real early in the morning, and I came across a whole flock of turkey. And they wouldn't get out of the way, and I got some pretty good shots of that, and I'll show you a little video clip of the turkeys here in a minute.
You guys gotta get out of my way. Get out of the road. The girls are up to the right. You gotta go up there.
And same day, really cool bobcat was scampering up the trail, and I did a little video of him and actually watched him pounce on a gopher and get his breakfast. That was pretty cool. And on one of my patrols up in San Jacinto, in fact, it was the last one I just did. I got a little nervous on that one because while I was up there, a fire broke out across the highway over on Thomas Mountain. And Thomas Mountain is the one that I just did a video on a while back of all the Yellow Post campsites. Well, a fire broke out on the northern end off Little Thomas Mountain Road, and the wind was blowing it in my direction. And they had a pretty huge response from not only the U.S. Forest Service, but Cal Fire, Hemet Fire, San Jacinto Fire. That was pretty impressive to see that response. They got an air tanker on the way, a bunch of air attack helicopters, and they actually had a full road closure from the CHP. They were preparing to evacuate Garner Valley from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. So there was a lot of stuff going on that day. In the meantime, I'm at 8,000 feet. Doing a wilderness patrol, so I got to kind of keep an eye on that because I got to go out that way. I don't want to be trapped between my vehicle and the fire. I don't want that in between us, so I had to keep a really close eye on that.
Well, there's a brush fire just broke out just east of Hemet, which is on my side of the mountain. I don't see any smoke yet, but they're dispatching a whole bunch of units. Aircraft has been ordered, and so I moved the radio up a little higher so I could make sure I keep in constant contact. That's all we need is have it to come my direction, because that's the way I got to go to get out of here tonight. Hopefully when I get a little higher up, I'll be able to see something. Hopefully they'll get a handle on it really quick. Well, this fire is getting little out of control. They're sending a whole bunch of units besides the air tanker, and 2 helicopters requesting additional units from the Forest Service, Hemet Fire, San Jacinto Fire, and the Forest Service. So I decided I'm going to head back to Saddle Junction, and I'd rather be in that position than being up here in the ridgeline. I still can't see the smoke and I can't smell it, but the wind is blowing from the west and it's blowing my direction. I'm going to have to go home that way. And right now they've closed everything along Highway 74 from basically the Paradise Cafe to 371 north all the way to 243, which is Mountain Center, which heads up to Idlewild. So when I get done hiking today, I have to hike back down to Humbert Park. I got to drive down to Idlewild, and then instead of going left or south to the 371 to head home to Temecula, I'm going to have to go right. I'm going to have to go through Hemet on the way home. Also, it's PCT through hike season, so all the through hikers are coming through Idlewild. They cross over and get in the Idlewild Divide side of the Pacific Crest Trail going northbound. And just that last day, I probably saw 40 through hikers, at least 30 to 40 through hikers. And they do have permits, and I am required to check permits. And I checked a lot of permits. I initialed a lot of permits, signed them off. And I just got to the point where there was just so many, I just stopped doing it. There was just too many. I mean, they've got the whole 2,650 miles for someone to check their permit. So, and on every single one, except for 2 guys, I was the first person to check it. So all the way from the Mexican border, all the way to Idlewild, nobody had stopped them and nobody asked for their permit. So one gal was really interesting. She was real sweet. I talked to her for a good 20 minutes as she was working her way down the Devil's Slide Trail to Idlewild, take a 0 day because the storm was coming in. And she's a blogger, and she has all of her PCT through hike is going to be on YouTube. And if you get a chance, go over to her channel. You can watch all of her videos. And in fact, in one of the episodes when she was where I was at, she actually mentions me. Not my name, but you could tell it's me when she's talking about it. And her channel is called Hike Through This. It's a THROUGH. It's not THRU like a through hiker.
Last I saw you, I was in my tent. And then I came down the mountain. I met a really nice forest ranger on the way down. He checked my permit. He was the first person to check my permit this whole time. We had a nice chat.
So I have no doubt she's going to make the 2650 because she's already done the AT Trail. She's already done the West Highland Way in Scotland, which is on my bucket list. And she's already done quite a few things. So get a chance, go over to her channel and, like and subscribe on her channel. Get her some more followers. She's got quite a few already, but her videos are really good and you'll enjoy them. Well, anyway, I'm going to go back into the computer and I'm going to pull up some random things, some random patrols, some things that I discuss a little bit, some of my stops along the way. You get to see a lot of viewpoints along the Devil's Slide Trail and maybe even some views up on Palomar. And in the meantime, I'm getting ready to go to Yosemite. I'm excited about that. My sister's coming out another 2 weeks, and we're going to head up to Yosemite. We have reservations in the valley, and we're going to go up and check out Vernal and maybe Nevada Falls and Yosemite Falls and Bridal Veil, and just take in the beautiful scenery in Yosemite Valley. So anyway, that's going to be coming up in this next edition of Backcountry Trails, a little mosh of everything I've been doing for the last month. Well, anyway, stick around and watch the video and let me know what you think. If you have any questions or comments, you can also post a link to your comments down at the bottom. So anyway, it's coming up next. What do I call it? I guess it's the San Jacinto Wilderness Patrol and the Cleveland National Forest Fire Lookouts, I guess. Anyway, that's coming up next. We had a guy that was going around lighting spot fires. He lit 10 to 20 fires all along Highway 76 and then north on the 15. So we've been listening to that going on. CAL FIRE's been fighting fires all morning.
meantime, 14 separate fires are under investigation in North County, burning a total of 19.5 acres along the 15 and near State Route 76. The incidents are collectively being referred to as the Mission Fire. CAL FIRE reports the fires varied in size, with the largest along the 15 reaching about an acre, another along the 76 estimated about half an acre. Forward progress on all fires was stopped, and there was no threat to structures or a need for evacuations.
Had a lot of visitors up here, and so we're able to show them the smoke that we can see from here and tell them how we perform a smoke check and how we report smoke to the Forest Service, and they relay it to CAL FIRE. But it's been a really busy day. It's only about noon, and we've already got over 50 visitors. So the haze has come in, so it's not as clear now as it was earlier, but at least the fires that were over this direction has calmed down. Looks like they got a handle on it now. CAL FIRE has been putting out the fires. They've been doing airdrops, so that's helped.
Well, good morning. Today I'm doing a wilderness patrol of the Double Slide Trail into the San Jacinto Wilderness, and this is prime PCT hiking, through hiking time, and I've already seen 5 PCT through hikers who took a 0-day down in town in Idlewild, and they got rides up here to the trailhead, and they're working their way back up the Double Slide Trail to get back on the PCT to head northbound. There was snow and rain over the last 48 hours, so I think a lot of people got wind of it, and they decided it was a good time to take a 0 down in town. So I think that's what they did. But I just I've probably seen 6-7 people come up the trail already, and it's only like 6:45 in the morning. It's a little chilly here. It's in the low 30, 34, 35, right around that. So it's a little chilly today, but it's supposed to be nice and clear. Not supposed to be any clouds today. It looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. I think it's going to be a really busy day. Well, while I'm taking a break here at Saddle Junction, I'm going to brew up some coffee here. I've got some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I want to make some cowboy coffee. I did bring a filter today, so I guess we got to go old school today. So it's going to be good though. But I also brought this little container. I saw this at I don't know, grocery warehouse. It's a sweet condensed milk. So maybe I can make me a Vietnamese coffee this morning. Well, we'll see how that goes. Just ran into 2 more hikers. They looked like they were prepared. They were heading up to San Jacinto Peak. I told them what a long day it's going to be. I also ran into another PCT through hiker. So she looked like she was motivated. She was heading down the trail, probably going back down to Idlewild for a 0-day like the other ones we've met. And so far, everybody's been friendly. Everybody's had a permit except one guy. And even the dogs that I ran into, they were on a leash. So far, for the most part, everybody's obeying the rules and doing what they're supposed to do. So I'd love to see that. Well, it looks like we got us a trio of snow plants along the trail. They usually sprout in the spring after the snow melt. They're actually a fungus. A lot of people think they're poisonous. They're really not, but I wouldn't go eating them. But they are kind of scenic. If there's just 3 right here off the trail, I might see more higher up. Well, good morning and welcome out to Riverside County and the Dripping Springs Campground and in Cleveland National Forest. Today's episode of Backcountry Trails, I'm going to be taking a hike initially for the first 100 feet or so up this direction. I'll be crossing the Royal Seca Wash, and I'm going to be making a left on what's known as the Wildhorse Peak Trail. Now, the Wildhorse Peak Trail goes up about 4 miles or so, roughly, to get to a little small, indiscreet little rock cairn that leads you straight up a loose scree slope to the top of Wildhorse Peak. If you continue on the Wildhorse Trail, you'll go in and out of some canyons, and you'll eventually end up down at a place called the Devil's Hole, and we'll talk a little more about that in a little bit. But it's spring break. I've already seen a couple of groups of kids heading up for a nice day to get out and do a nice spring break hike. On today's adventure, I'm kind of hoping to not only get some good scenery, maybe we'll see some wildlife. I've seen mountain quails on this trail. I've seen all kinds of snakes up here. I've seen striped racers. I've seen rattlesnakes.
I've seen speckleds in southern Pacific, so we'll see what we see today. It seems like everybody has seen rattlesnakes so far this year but me. I've been looking too, so I'm hoping to see 1 or 2 rattlesnakes today. Of course, I'll be careful. I don't pick any of them up. I give them plenty of space, but they are beautiful creatures and they are interesting to see. So maybe I'll run into 1 or 2 on the trail today as I work my way up to the top of Wildhorse Peak up here in the Cleveland National Forest. One more thing before we start. Up here inside this little podium, there's a log book. There's no permits required for this trail, but we do ask that you do log in, just so we know who's up there in case in the event of a wildfire or some need to evacuate the area or rescue somebody. We'll have an idea of the date and their name and what trail they were on. So for today's day, I wrote Wilderness 37, and I was doing a patrol of Wildhorse Peak Trail. So the group that was ahead of me, the young kids that were on spring break, they didn't sign in, but I know who they are. I know what vehicle they were driving, but they probably didn't even know this was here, and I failed to mention it to them when I was talking to them. So it does say register for day use, but evidently they didn't see it. So anyway, I'm going to be heading up the trail. I'm going to cross the wash and turn left on the Wildhorse Peak Trail. Well, this is Arroyo Seco Creek, and it's all closed off. There's no trails back there anyway, but it says sensitive habitat. And the reason why they do that is because the western arroyo toad is on the endangered species list, and it mates and breeds, lays its eggs in amongst the boulders of Arroyo Seco Creek. And so they don't want anybody back there disturbing it. And there's no trails there anyway, so there's no reason to be back there. Our trail is going to be directly across the creek. And sometimes, certain times of the year, this is a raging torrent. But, you know, so far this year it's been a pretty low rainfall season, so not much to worry about today. Well, this is some wild cucumber that we see along the trail. Here's some more over here. They are related to the cucumber family, but they are spiky, so I don't know if I'd be eating that. There's some more up here. It's quite a bit, actually. Well, this is a pretty good view down into Arroyo Seco Creek, and I'm surprised to see water down there. Good source of water for the animals. Deer, fox, bobcat, mountain lion. I'm sure they all go down there. We're heading up this direction. Well, this is what you hate to see along the trail. Toilet paper streamers. Covered in shit. Nice. This is kind of pretty. This is called the red bush monkey flower. And that orange flower that you're looking at right there, it's called southern bush monkey flower. I looked that one up on the Seek app. And the creek is down there. I'm still looking for that used trail that used to be here back in the day. I don't think it's there anymore. It's probably overgrown by now. Been reclaimed by nature. Hopefully I can get through here without hitting any poison oak. I don't know if there's any water flowing at this side, so hopefully not. We'll see. You know, as I'm looking down on Arroyo Seco Creek, I noticed over here by this big boulder, just to the left of it, there's a pretty good game trail right there. Comes down from the upper elevations. Looks like it works its way down to the creek down there. I wonder what's been using that, huh? There's another one over here. Well, we're getting pretty close to the turnoff. The side trail, the used trail up the top of Wildhorse Peak. And looking to the east, that's what's known as Devil's Hole. Looks like they've got a vineyard down there. I wonder where you access that from. Hopefully in a future edition I'll be able to go down there. Well, I came around the corner and on a bush there was a Kino checker spot butterfly. And you're thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a butterfly. There's lots of butterflies. Well, this particular butterfly, the Kino checker spot, is actually on the endangered species list. And they actually have habitat set aside specifically for the Kino checker spot. Over on Vail Lake, which is basically across Highway 79 from where we are right now, I was up there on top of Oak Mountain, and I ran into a research team from UC Riverside that were part of a Kino checker spot butterfly habitat restoration management group, and they were up there doing a count and checking on the habitat. I guess they like to feed on certain types of vegetation, and they were making sure that they had enough vegetation up there to sustain their beaver population. Anyway, hopefully I'll see another one. I'll get a picture of it. Well, as you're heading on the Wildhorse Trail, this is what you're going to be looking for. The rock cairn and the use trail right there. Grade is pretty mellow down at the bottom, but once you start climbing, it gets real steep. And eventually you'll work your way over to the top, all the way over to that far peak. I believe that's Wildhorse over there. Well, I don't know if you can see how much I'm sweating right now, but man, I'm about 2/3, maybe 3/4 the way up to the top of this little scenic viewpoint where the big rocks are. And then from there, it's going to be a trek to the left. As you can see the Devil's Hole behind me. Sun's cooking me right now. Well, there's a couple spots where the trail just kind of disappears. But thankfully, somebody's placed a cairn up there. So I guess it's somewhere to the right. Well, I decided to stop and take a break here for a minute and get caught up on some hydration. I haven't been hydrating very well today. And I did bring 3 liters of water, a little over 3. I brought a 40-ounce bottle of sweet tea along with 2 liters of smart water. I can't believe how overgrown this trail has become. And it's getting warm out, even though it's kind of cloudy. We actually have some semblance of a storm coming in a few days, and this is probably the leading edge. I honestly don't think we're going to get any rain out of it, but we can just hope. But yeah, this trail is covered in poison oak in all the canyon heads, and trail's overgrown, and there's lots of little biting gnats and mosquitoes. And to be honest, I don't think I would recommend this trail right now. Maybe a little later on in the year, maybe after some of this dies back. Who knows, maybe once the trail crew gets up here, maybe we can get Forest Service to get the California Conservation Corps to come up here and cut back some of the brush. It'll be a little better. There's also some erosion. This trail is kind of known for some spots that have some pretty steep drop-offs. I mean, you're not going to go too far. You got to go into the brush, but the trail is narrow, and you can see where it's kind of collapsed in spaces, and so you have to be careful. I haven't seen anybody else today so far. Did see one little brush rabbit. That was about it. Still no snakes. Maybe once I get around the corner and I get a little further up and I get into the more of the open sagebrush and chaparral, maybe I'll see something. Looking up ahead to the east, I can see some really lush, bright green trees in the canyon. I'm going to have to try to figure out what that is. I mean, there is some more down here as well, but there's a big concentration down there. It must be a lot of water down at that end. In the meantime, I'm going to pop a hammer gel and keep on a trucking, huh? Along the Wildhorse Trail. All right, at this point, I'm probably halfway up the steep slope, and this is extremely steep, loose, slippery. This is horrible. And the sun is just cooking me right now. And it's not even that hot. So I got to get up, I don't know, another 100 feet maybe. Hopefully it'll level out. I don't really remember. And once I get to the top, it's not really the top. There's another trail that goes to the left. That's where I need to go. But man, I'm dying right now. Well, this is what's listed as a scenic area on the map. It's not Wildhorse Peak. It's Wildhorse Peak is over there. But believe it or not, it's fairly meandering and not too bad. So from here to Wildhorse Peak is only probably 10 minutes. So it's a good spot as any. Take a break. We got a great view looking to the north and west. I just wonder if it's windy, because I can see dust kicked up all to the north, over toward Lake Elsinore and Hemet, off that direction. It's got a little bit of a breeze up here, not much, but some, and I'll take it. I've got some sweet tea in here, and very refreshing. I'm going to take about 5-10 minutes here to get rehydrated and get some energy back, and then I'm going to knock off this last 10 minutes to Wildhorse. Can't believe how hazy and dirty ridge looking it looks that direction. I don't think that's smoke. I think that's just like Santa Ana winds blowing dust. I'll give you a tour here in a second. All right, so Wildhorse is over that direction. As we're looking to the west, that's Saddleback. There's Vail Lake down there, what's left of Vail Lake. Way off in the distance, you probably won't be able to see it, is Gorgonio with a tiny little patch of snow. And San Jacinto, the San Jacinto Ridgeline. There's Cohia Mountain, and along with the San Jacinto Ridgeline. And this magnificent boulder grouping right at the top here. High Point Lookout is over that direction to the left. It's behind the rock. You can't see it. And that's all Palomar Observatory property. The observatory is back that direction. Can't see it. It's behind the hill. But anyway, that's where I'm going. Wildhorse Peak. Well, does this look like fun to you? Because it's not fun for me. I've been going through thick brush, plowing my way through. This is probably loaded with ticks as well. I'll have to do a thorough tick check when I get home for sure. This peak doesn't get a lot of travel, and it's evident by not a very well defined path. You can see it, but it's definitely overgrown. Keep your eyes open. Look out for speckled rattlesnakes. They love this type of terrain, and they blend right in. Well, looks like I finally made it to the top. Wildhorse Peak, right here in Riverside County. One of the high points along the Cleveland National Forest ridgeline in the Agua Tibia Wilderness. There's a sign-in register right here, it looks like. So I'll take a few minutes and I'll sign in, do a walk around, see what the view is like from the top of Wildhorse Peak in the Cleveland National Forest. I'm tired. This was a hard hike. This one kicked my butt for sure. There's quite a few swallowtail butterflies flying around. I'll see if I get a picture of one. There's a real big one right there just sitting on a branch. But in the meantime, I gotta sign in and drop the pack and make lunch. It's well deserved. Got a chicken salad sandwich today. And I think I brought a coconut water, I'm not sure. Well, here's a really nice rosy boa. You don't see those too often. This is the first one I've actually seen on the trail. So I'll set him down, I'll let him go. Very nice. Very cordial. I don't know if that's exactly where he wanted to go, but well, this is what we look for, remnants of an illegal campfire. There's no campfires allowed up here. So it's pretty obvious somebody at some point decided this was a good location for a campfire. All right, well, this is what I did. I tried to scatter the coals as best I could and put some debris over it and try to make it look as natural as possible. So hopefully the next person won't decide this is a good spot for a campfire. Well, I got to take a break here for a minute or two. I'm just past Middle Spring, which is right behind me, which is one of the most common spots people refill their water. It's got a good water flow right now from the rains we had a couple of days ago, actually yesterday, and it's usually a pretty good source up until June. Then it starts to kind of fizzle away, but a lot more through hikers coming through. Someone from Australia, somebody from England, Oregon. I had a guy from New York. Just now had a guy moving at a pretty good clip. He was just day hiking. No, he was heading up to San Jacinto Peak. He hadn't been there before, so checked his permit. He had permits so far, but he's been good. I had one guy that didn't have a permit, but he was just taking a few pictures and was heading back down. So, so far so good. Well, what I originally thought was broken glass is actually ice. Ice on the trail. There's quite a bit of it here falling from the trees. From the brief storm that went through here yesterday and the day before yesterday. That's where we're headed. Saddle Junction's right up there. A couple more switchbacks. We'll be getting close. And there's more ice along the path. You can see it dripping off the tree right here. And lots more ice coming down. I hope when I get to Saddle Junction, I'm not going to be pelted while I'm making my coffee. That's my breakfast this morning, my donut and my cup of cold coffee. Well, as much as I hate to think a PCT thru hiker would have done this, it does say Trail Magic from Frosty and her mom. I'm hoping that it just fell out of the pack. Well, I'm over here at Saddle Junction, and I'm taking a break. I'm going to be making some cup of cold coffee and having a donut here for my breakfast break. I've been checking permits, PCT thru hiker permits. I bet I've checked 25 people this morning already. So everybody's in great spirits. Everybody's doing well. A lot of people took a zero because of the rain over the last couple days, and they're excited to be back on the trail. Group I just checked was from New Zealand. There's like 4 of them from New Zealand, so how cool is that? So anyway, it won't take more than probably a minute to brew my water, get my water hot here, then I can make my coffee and warm up a little bit. I had to put on my jacket, put my beanie back on. It's cold up here. I want to check the thermometer here in a minute. I bet it's still in the 30s. Anyway, coffee sounds pretty good right now. Well, I decided to come sit out here in the sun because It's cold. It says it's like 44, 45 degrees, but that wind's blowing a little bit and it's cold. And this coffee is really nice and hot. It's actually a little too hot, so. But I need to let it cool for a minute. But in the meantime, I'm going to eat my donut. In a little bit, I think I want to head northbound on the PCT and check some of the spots on the ridge lines to the north. Work my way up toward NH Junction. I'll see how far I get. It's still early. I got a really early start today. Boy, it sure is warmer right here in this spot in the sun. It feels good. Well, this is one of my favorite places to set up a camp. It's just on the north side of the Devil's Slide Trail, and it's working its way up toward San Jacinto Peak. It's a northbound PCT, but there's a great spot here. Nice flat campsites over here and over there. And in the afternoon, the sun is going to be setting down over that ridge line. It's going to be tremendous. Got a great view too of Suicide Rock and all of the valley to the west. It's a great spot. And luckily, the reason I come up here is I'm looking for illegal campfires. There's not any today, which is perfect. I've already got a bag of trash going. Found a great big bag of trash. Can't believe people still do that. Anyway, got more in my pocket. I got to take it out and put it inside this bag. That's actually used toilet paper, but it's dry, thank God. So, anyway, I'm not going to take a break. I'm going to shift my load a little bit, and I'm going to continue northbound Pacific Crest Trail. What a gorgeous day. Time to get out sunglasses. Well, what'd you think of this episode? This mashup of different things I've been doing. A little different. I did so many hikes. I did so many things, but I didn't take my tripod. I didn't film from start to finish any of the hikes because I was busy. I was running into people, checking permits, doing all kinds of things. So it's a little different than most of the other videos. I don't even know what you would even type in to even find this video unless you were already a subscriber to the channel. The one thing that I did do just yesterday, actually, it was kind of upsetting to me. I was trying to get permits, wilderness permits. I already had wilderness permits. I was trying to get campsite reservations in Yosemite for September. And I was all lined up on the computer. I had my campsites lined up. I had my credit card ready. My America the Beautiful pass was sitting here on the desk ready to go. And I was waiting for exactly 0700 hours on the dot for it to open. And at 6:56, I started clicking the refresh button. I had it all lined up, and it kept saying, too early, too early, too early. And then the second that computer rolled over to 0700, I popped in, and every single campsite in the entire Yosemite National Park was taken. I don't know how that happens. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've always been able to get something somewhere. Maybe not the site that I want, but somewhere in the park. And literally within 3 minutes, Upper Pines, Lower Pines, North Pines was all taken. And I had, I think, one site for one of the, I needed 4 days consecutive, and there was one single day way down in Wawona. I don't know what they did. Every year they mess with the way you do this. And I know I got the lottery. That's how I got the sites that I'm going to in a couple weeks. But even before 7 o'clock, most of the sites were already gone from the sites that were given away 6 months ago in the lottery. And then they have this new system where if you want to go in September, you have to wait until 2 weeks before your trip to log in to see if it's available. They don't release these sites. 40% of the sites are released 2 weeks prior to the actual day you check in. Well, I'm retired, so it's not a big deal to me. I could just pack up the Jeep and I can drive to Yosemite and be there in 1 day, and I can do it. But what does everybody else do? What if you have a travel trailer, or you got the wife and the kids, you got to take off time from work, you got to plan it around a weekend or a holiday? How do you do that with no notice? I don't understand what they're doing. I'm just at a loss for words. So we're going to have to reboot
going to have to call an audible, and we're going to have to try to find something else. I can move the dates. The dates are kind of, variable. We can go before or after. But remember, this year they're predicting El Nino. So if it's going to be a heavy, wet year in El Nino, and it starts early, and it doesn't start in January or December, if it starts in September, October, we could very well hit snow in the valley in October. We've done that before. So I don't know. It's going to be one of those guessing games. You're going to have to wait a couple of weeks and see what we can come up with. But it doesn't really matter because I'll still be doing patrols in San Jacinto, and I'll still be doing patrols in Cleveland. And there's a couple of things I've been wanting to see in Cleveland that I've discovered were pretty interesting, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see them. And the one place that I was going to go to last time, that one abandoned jail that I was telling you about, that had the padlock on the gate, I actually have keys to that now, courtesy of Cleveland National Forest. So we'll see if I get out there. Well, anyway, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. And don't forget to click and subscribe and tap that notification bell. And tell your friends about the channel. And if you have any hikes that you think I should do or places I should visit, especially anything of a historical interest in Southern California, pop a note in the comment section below, and I'll see what I can do. All right, you guys take care. Be safe. Lots of rattlesnakes out there. Keep your eyes open. Keep the earbuds out of your ears. Listen for that sound on the trail.
Just walking right by the trail. You can see my trail right there. There's a southern Pacific rattlesnake right there. Holy shit. Yeah, didn't even see him. The only thing I saw was his tongue. That's what caught my attention. Wow.
And get out and do some adventures. The weather's looking great right now. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.